My wife sent a text early in the evening. I'm at a friend's place. I'll be home late. Don't worry. It looked harmless, even thoughtful, but I'd seen too many messages like it lately. I stared at the screen, noticing how meticulously neutral the words were, how perfectly measured they sounded. For a moment, I considered replying with concern, maybe asking which friend. Instead, I typed with calm precision, me too, at my lawyer's. Enjoy your night. I pressed send without hesitation. No anger in my hands, no tremor, no rush of adrenaline, just certainty. For months, I had ignored the late nights, the emotional distance, the way she guarded her phone as if it held secrets instead of texts. That evening, something inside me finally aligned. I wasn't accusing her. I was stating fact. The silence that followed was immediate, heavy, revealing. Minutes passed. No reply.
No denial. No confusión.
That quiet spoke more than any argument ever could. I sat alone in the living room, listening to the hum of the refrigerator, realizing how loud stillness becomes when the truth arrives. I thought back to all the times I had chosen peace over confrontation, believing patience would fix what honesty avoided. Patience without boundaries had only taught her that excuses were acceptable. I didn't feel victorious. I felt relief. My decision to consult a lawyer wasn't impulsive. It came after sleepless nights, unanswered questions, and the growing understanding that love shouldn't feel like constant uncertainty. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. That absence of reaction, no denial, no outrage, no explanation, confirmed what my instincts had been saying all along. People respond fast when they feel wronged. Silence follows exposure. As I waited, memories surfaced unbidden. Holidays when she seemed distant, conversations cut short the moment I entered the room, laughter that no longer included me. I realized I hadn't truly been part of her world for a long time. I was someone she updated, not someone she confided in. The lawyer's office replayed in my mind. Calm explanation of options, quiet professionalism, absence of judgment. Strangely grounding. I wasn't dismantling a marriage. I was acknowledging its absence. When my phone finally buzzed, my chest didn't race. I already knew the type of message I'd receive. Short, defensive, vague, what are you talking about? No reassurance, no concern, just confusion offered too late. I didn't respond. There was nothing to clarify. The truth doesn't need repetition once it is understood. And she understood perfectly. That night stretched on, long and revealing. I imagined her rereading my message, realizing I was no longer playing the part she expected. The trusting husband, the patient listener, the man who took words over patterns. I wondered if she felt panic, anger, or simply exposure. I sat at the kitchen table, papers stacked neatly, evidence of a decision already made. For the first time in months, my thoughts were quiet. Sadness lingered, yes, but confusion had vanished. I understood now that betrayal isn't always loud. Sometimes it creeps in slowly, hidden behind innocuous texts, casual assurances. The silence between us wasn't empty. It was full of answers. I didn't need her to come home to confirm anything. Her lack of response had already spoken. When trust breaks, it doesn't shatter dramatically. It fades, leaving stillness that feels permanent. Near midnight, she called. I let it ring. Again. I watched the screen light up and fade, unmoved. I wasn't punishing her. I was protecting myself. I realized how often I had prioritized her comfort over my own clarity. That night, the balance shifted. Eventually, a longer message arrived. Explanations tangled with contradictions. Mentions of misunderstandings, stress, friendships I wouldn't comprehend. I read it once and set the phone aside. None of it addressed the real issue, honesty. Respect isn't preserved by avoiding details. Trust cannot survive emotional disappearance. I felt a quiet gratitude for the silence earlier. It had given me space to accept what words now attempted to undo. Too late. The conversation we needed had already happened. Quietly, completely, in my mind. When she finally returned in the early hours, I was in bed, awake but unmoved. She stood at the doorway, hesitant, stripped of confidence. I didn't ask where she'd been. I didn't need to. She tried to speak, but I stopped her gently. I told her we would discuss everything later, with lawyers present, because emotions distort truth. That sentence stunned her. She expected confrontation, not finality. I turned away, ending the night without drama. Lying there, I realized how empowering it felt to stop chasing explanations. I had spent too long preserving something that required mutual effort. Love can survive distance, stress, even arguments, but it cannot survive secrecy without accountability. That night, sleep came easily for the first time in weeks. Not because I was happy, but because I was finally honest with myself. The following days were quiet, tense. Friends noticed the change, asked questions. I didn't answer fully. I didn't need to explain my choices. My wife oscillated between remorse and defensiveness, unsure which version of me she faced now. I remained calm, focused, distant. That frightened her more than anger ever could. I realized something crucial. When someone believes you will never leave, they stop protecting the relationship. They protect only themselves. That realization stung, but it freed me. I no longer questioned my worth or replayed conversations for fault. I knew I had tried. The silence after that text hadn't just spoken. It had ended everything. And endings, when confronted honestly, can be disguised beginnings. Looking back, that single exchange changed my life. Her text had been casual, confident in lies she thought would go unnoticed. My reply wasn't cruel. It was clear me too. And my lawyers. In that moment, I chose truth over tolerance, dignity over denial. The silence that followed revealed more than any confession could. I didn't yell. I didn't demand answers. I simply stepped out of the role that allowed deception to persist. Some relationships don't end with shouting or tears. They end with clarity. Walking away wasn't easy, but staying would have cost me myself. That night taught me that self-respect speaks quietly, but carries immense weight. Sometimes the most powerful statement isn't an argument. It's a calm sentence that lets silence finish.